We're making media today. From what I understand, this is something that typically they have in Istanbul, in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mother was from Yozgat, but she did not know this. Now, if we start with 3/4 of a cup of, I use canola oil or olive oil, whichever you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get that going. Here, it's already measured out.
Okay.
And we'll turn this on. And use a pot with a lid. And I have water boiling. I could not get clean mussels, so I have them in the shell, and they have to be steamed.
Okay.
So I'm going to rinse them first. Now, if any are broken, like this one, throw it away.
Okay.
Discard it.
All right.
I use cold water. Okay. Now, once the water is boiling, be careful because the water is hot. You don't want to just dump them in. I use a spoon, or you can use tongs,
Uh-huh.
whatever.
The grabbers. About how much water is in there? It's about, looks like about 1 inch of water, 1.5 inches.
Yeah, just about that or 2. No, that's more than, that's about 2 inches.
Okay, about 2 inches of water.
If you can find clean mussels, about 1/2 pound.
Okay.
I sort of eyeballed this thing.
All right.
Put that one there. And get this back up to a boil.
All right. Now, how long do they have to boil for?
About no more than 5 minutes. Check it after 3 minutes and see if they're open, they're done. Any shells that remain closed, discard, throw them away. They're not good.
Okay.
So
Right.
I got about 14
Oh.
shells. I'm estimating that clean would be about 1/2 pound.
Okay.
Now, once this,
Yeah, that's up to temperature.
now wait a minute. I think we have to put this in the blender.
What do you have there?
A cup and, it was a cup and a half before I,
That's all right. It's 1.5 cups of onions?
of onions, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you have a blender, just cut them into quarters, the onion, and just throw it in and it'll do its job.
Right, yeah, I cut those up
Yeah.
further than they needed to be.
That's all it needs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't much. Alrighty.
That's about it. Now. Thank you. Now with the onions, you just saute them till they're translucent.
Do you
You
want me to
don't
get
want
them?
them brown.
Okay.
Do you want me to get them? I got it. I got it. Let me get the rest.
Alright.
I'll get it.
And then you can put that back on here. Because we need that with mussels.
Okay. Do I need to wash it out or
No,
no?
no.
Probably turn this off. Okay, so with the onions, how long are you cooking the onions?
Just until they become translucent.
Okay,
I'm guessing about 10 minutes.
okay,
15, no more than that.
all right. And the mussels are starting to open.
I'm just... Yeah, that's great. Now, what we'll do is just turn that off and take this. I'm
All
gonna
right.
need
I'll
you
get
to
it.
Yeah.
help me.
I don't know if she'll help with that.
What am I doing? Putting it in here?
Into the colander, yeah. You can push this to the back. They're still not transitioning. Another few minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Now. Speed up the cooling time.
All right, you run them under a little cold water.
Yes. Now, I am not crazy about mussels. Traditionally, you're to take them out of the shell, which I will do, and leave them whole. But since I don't like them that much, I put them in the food processor and just grind it once or twice. That way the flavor's there,
Right.
but for me, it's better that way. If you prefer, just leave them whole.
Right.
That way you don't get a big hunk of mussel.
Yeah. And just open it and just take the mussel out of the shell, and you can keep the shells for serving if you want, or put it in a big bowl, whatever, which I will demonstrate in a minute.
Yeah, I can remember every Christmas or whatever that you use the shell, and then you put the finished media in the mussel shells,
Yeah.
and it's a nice presentation.
And you keep, my mom always used to keep the shells, wash them, and then dry them, and then put them in a Ziploc in the freezer,
Yeah.
so you have them year after year.
Some of the shells did not open, so
Right.
we discarded them, we threw them away. But this is basically, we could have done with another 3 or 4, but this is pretty good. And I'm gonna put these in here. And I have the open shells, and I'm going to rinse those, and then I'll show you how you can use those to serve if you want to.
Okay.
Okay, these onions are just about done. Now, let me get the recipe. Okay, now I have a cup of rice measured here. Add that. And the spices, it's, thank you. It's 1½ teaspoon of allspice, 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
And that's all measured here.
Is there a particular brand of rice you like to use?
Uncle Ben's.
There we go.
And then a cup, and this is what I found, this brand. But any brand you can get.
Okay.
Tomato sauce.
That's 8 ounces.
This is 8 ounces, yes.
Do you want the spatula?
And just you put the stir. And then, how much water was that?
Hold on. 1.25 cups of water.
Wait a minute, currants.
Oh.
The currants go in.
How much currants was that? 1/3 cup?
Yes. And 1/4 cup of pine nuts.
1/4 cup of pine nuts. Okay. So these are the currants that we used, and that was 1/3 cup of those. And these are the pine nuts that we use, and that was 1/4 cup of pine nuts.
One and 1/4 cups of water. Give it a good stir. And then
So
that's about one.
all right, what was that you just put in?
Tomato paste.
And 2 tablespoons, right?
Yes. And stir that in. All right. Now you just.
Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. There's a big lump of it right there.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
And just put the lid on and let it slowly cook until all the water is absorbed. Check it after 10 minutes, usually about 15 minutes.
Huh?
Oh, no, let it come to a boil and then lower the flame and let it simmer.
So you let it come to a boil, lower the flame, let it simmer until the rice absorbs all the water,
Yes.
or all the liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
So you want to put the lid on
All right. Yeah. Starting to boil. Put the
and
lid
lower
on.
the flame and just let it simmer.
All right. You brought it down to about medium.
Yeah, yes, that should be about medium.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll check back in. Okay.
Yeah, now the mussels, what I do is, that's all. Just 1 or 2 pulses, that should do it. And then just add it to the mixture.
Okay.
Do you want me to help you, Mom?
I think I can make it. I think we needed more mussels, but I should get 2 dozen. See, the water is beginning to be absorbed. Are you measuring?
Yeah, we have one. All right, here we are about 8 to 10 minutes in, sticking a little bit, so we're just giving it a stir. See, it's sticking just a little bit, we're giving it a stir. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. We'll check it back in about 5 minutes.
I just turned off the flame on this, and you can see it's mostly absorbed, the water and the oil, and as it sits it will absorb it further.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's absorbed quite a bit of it.
Yeah, so I'll just put this here. I'll keep the lid off so it can cool. And the best way of having this is either room temperature or cold. I prefer room temperature because you can get all the flavors.
I like cold.
Rinse them.
So you rinse them and then you make sure you take out that extra part
Yes,
and then just dry them and that's it?
that's it. And at this point, you can put them in a Ziploc bag and freeze them for future use. Or you can totally shell and serve it that way.
All right.
That's it.
So here are all the shells cleaned. And here's the finished Midia. It was on the stove for about 20 to 25 minutes. We've let it sit and it's cooled off.
Now, you just take one of the shells. About a tablespoon, that's about it.
And that's how you serve them.
This is how you can serve them. Or you can put this in a bowl, or in a bowl plus these surrounding the bowl.
Oh,
Whatever way you want to.
okay.
But this makes an attractive addition.
Right. Yeah, nice presentation. Now it's my turn. Now I try it.
All right,
Here we go.
the expert opinion.
It's delicious like it usually is. Great job, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to make the video for us.
My pleasure.
All righty. So here's a copy of the directions. And I will have the directions down in the description.